Zeph is listed on the website. You can scan through all of the biographies and find that the principal Miss Ford is fluent in 5 languages. But why do I not get, like, I don't know, more of her? Miss Ford. I mean, that's like a stupid thing to search. I don't know. But then, yeah, she speaks 5 languages, so she went on those international trips to translate. She was not just an ASL interpreter, she was also, probably also spoke Chinese, Portuguese, French. And then the 5 languages would be Portuguese, French, Chinese, English, and sign language, I guess. Working at the school for over 15 years. Yeah, that tracks. Nothing for Ohio. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go anymore. But maybe the publisher could be something that leads us to, like, a, you know, someone who's related to Bess. But maybe not. And this, I still have no idea where to look for Miss Ford more. Like, this is just annoying. I don't know. This is so annoying. I don't know. Because where would I don't know. Have we looked for this? That's just this again. I don't know. I have nothing. Where could we look for Thomas Hughes still? Nothing really makes sense, I think. Again, like, this is just grasping at straws. Yeah. How do we get anything over here? It's, I don't know. I got nothing there. And here, like I say, it's the same issue. I don't know where to look at it, like which angle to look at this from, basically. Because like I can't find any other mention of Susan Ford or Hughes or Thomas Hughes anywhere. So I don't know how to find anything about her children. Could she have written like a book or something? Maybe, but like it's not. There's nothing mentioned there, right? I feel like we're missing like a magazine or I don't know, like just something. We're missing something. Yeah, we looked up all of this already. I don't think there's anything to follow up here. Did we look it up in the thing? I don't know. Sam Matson's book was released earlier this year and details the truth about Elias Roottree as well as Sam's father's Edward Cansey Roottree and John Miller. You have verified the story, so much of the book's core contents are familiar to you. That said, Sam had some sections on other family secrets and rumors. Much of it didn't matter to the primary purpose of the book, and some of it is new to you and may be important to your new search. Yeah, no, we already have those, yeah. And like chained or Roottree, there's nothing useful there, right? I don't know. I don't know. I'm lost, I think. I don't think Ruby Spratt is going to give us anything good anymore. Because we looked at that, it was just the speech. Man, I don't know where to go at all. I don't know what to do. Where can I find like a new thing still? There's gotta be like some in somewhere, like a thing that we can look up and then we get like a new thing to explore, like a new avenue. Like the, you know, like today with all the international stuff, that was very good, but yeah, I don't know. And it doesn't, like, we don't get, I really wanted the publisher and then go for that somehow. That just made sense in my head, but we can't. There's just no wrong author. Because it doesn't say, you don't get like publisher information here. And the only thing that looks like a publisher name is Scour Publishing. And it didn't give me anything. Man, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm stuck. I think I'm done. For the day, maybe. It's kind of annoying because we're like close, but we're also not. When did Sack take over, actually? Is that how you spell them? '59. So maybe the secretary that Elias had was actually Elizabeth, but it was the daughter, not the affair. That might be something. That might be something. It's too long ago for any of these to make sense. Okay, Cravensworth though. Is that different Cravensworth? Beth Knox. It would also be Beth Knox, maybe. Maybe just look for Cravensworth. And Knox. I felt like it could be a thing. And it might still be, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And like, there's no Beth Williams, right? We looked for Beth Knox and Elizabeth Cravensworth. Perhaps go for the best stuff again. Search anything, even if it doesn't feel useful. Maybe, yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, okay. Beth Williams, author born in the late 1800s, lived outside of Miami, died tragically young in a major hurricane that struck the area in 1926. Beth has a minor history with the Roottrees. Her only notable book, Family Man, is widely considered blatant propaganda about Elias Roottree. It's been all but forgotten until recently, when it was re-released during the height of Roottree mania. There's a site dedicated to hurricane statistics that also mentions Beth Williams. The Bocadoral, I don't remember how I said it before. Library not far from where she lived was partially destroyed in a hurricane. When they rebuilt and named the non-fiction section after her. Library was expanded again in 1950, closed in 1963. There's just like nothing, even like whatever, like like other than the library. There's like nothing there. Library doesn't exist anymore. Find multiple libraries in the area. According to the website for the library system in Miami, the building where it once sat is now the Miami Print Museum. Searching for the Print Museum, you come across their website. It states their hours and a list of exhibits. The building is very small. Admission is free, and they only have room for a few different displays. One of the exhibits is their courtyard, which includes a fountain as well as a statue of an unknown author. The picture has been added to your evidence. Another is a printing press that was used by the Miami Sunday, a now defunct weekly newspaper. That's the original print of Cuba by Cubans and art. We've looked at all of these. Did we look for Monsieur Bar? Maybe we've never looked up this name. No, we did. Marcia Barbin. Doesn't look good. Maybe the photography one? Probably not. No. And we looked at the book too. What was it? Cuba by Cubans. I mean, the fact that it's in the thing makes it seem like maybe this is like someone, but I don't know. Did we look up the library? I don't. Maybe not. Probably not. But like, yeah, I mean, it feels like it is related, right? Because like the. It feels like it's all related, honestly. The Sunday, Miami Sunday, the defunct newspaper, and the original print of the original print of that book. Like, why would that be in the Miami Print Museum? That is like I don't know. I guess that's too late. But maybe not. I don't know. Because you could, like, if your like parent or grandparent had like a museum kind of, well, not really named after them, but like, I don't know, in their honor kind of, maybe you would like donate your original print of a book to that museum, right? Like that makes sense. The same with the printing press. But this just led us to the stupid newspaper. The Mercury we can look for. Okay, we never looked for it for just the one. The Miami Mercury is now a now defunct newspaper that merged with the Miami Sunday. Resulting newspaper, the Miami Mercury Sunday, went out of business. It seems at some point during this process it was at least partially archived as available. I hate you. The Miami Mercury had an article about the Bess Williams section in the Bocadoro Library when it was being built in 28. It mentions that Bess's young son, now an orphan, was in attendance during the dedication. It also had a later mention from 1949, the last year the paper existed, about a bidding war for a planned expansion of the library in 1950. The bidding was won by Wildcat Construction and included a new statue fountain in the second room that would double its shelf count. Wildcat Construction is listed in some historical records as having worked on many buildings in the Miami, Florida area. It seems to have ceased operation in the 1960s. Okay. Wildcat Construction was mentioned once in an article you've already seen about the expansion of the Bocadoro Library. It was also mentioned earlier in 1947 under the headline Constructing a Better World. Frank Wildcat Williams left Florida in 1941, a construction worker, and returned a hero. He won the Navy Cross for his bravery and sacrifice, having carried a fellow soldier to safety under heavy Nazi fire. Now he and his wife Ophelia are carrying his fellow soldiers through tough times at home. Wildcat Construction is Frank's company focused on creating opportunities for soldiers finding difficulty getting back to normal. Ophelia has handled outreach to the wives of local veterans who are often able to provide insight into their husbands' needs and conditions. She has, through such outreach, found 13 veterans of the war to serve as Frank's employees. The community support has been unendingly and overwhelmingly positive. It has gotten to the point where Frank bids on a project, other local companies have decided to step back and let his soldiers handle it. This has become a bit of a sore spot for local politicians and business owners, as the bids are often not as low as they expected. The problem for them is that essentially Frank has a selective monopoly, but any attempt to circumvent it has caused an uproar and accusations of being un-American. As, you know, fair. It's uncertain what will become of Wildcat Constructions, but at least for now, we're rooting for them. Okay, so Frank Wildcat Williams. Who was in construction, and the wife is Ophelia. Frank Wildcat Williams is listed on a few different military history websites. He was awarded a Navy Cross Medal in World War II, and the story goes that even after being struck in the arm with a bullet, he managed to carry a fellow soldier through enemy territory on his shoulders for over 2 miles. He died in 1996, age 74, in a retirement community in Sweetwater, Florida. An obituary on the website of a local news channel that was written by his surviving family also sheds light on some of his personal life. He grew up an orphan because his family died in a hurricane when he was very young. He could barely remember his mother and had no memory of his father because, you know, he was Eliza Roottree. After the war, he ran a construction company that mainly hired World War II veterans and did a lot of jobs in and around the greater Miami area. He was a born choker and a shining light to those veterans who needed it most. An anecdote mentions that he used to insist he married his wife Ophelia as a matter of courtesy and convenience. She wouldn't have to change her last name. Okay, we have her last name too. A photo is attached of Frank in his youth juggling hammers in front of one of his construction sites, as he was often known to do. According to the article, he is survived by Ophelia as well as his daughters Barb and Sharon Williams. And there's a statue in the background. Alright. But this is confusing. Or whatever. Barb and Sharon Williams. That's gonna be hard. Barb Williams is a motivational speaker and she has a website that explains the services she offers. Her company's address is listed as in Coconut Grove, Florida. The flyer has been added to your evidence. Barb Williams advertises her career as a motivational speaker online. This flyer includes 3 different testimonials from Greta Jones from WQTV-12, Vic Elmsworth from the Kikiva Falls Gazette, and Isabel Crosby, the superintendent of Benton County. Sure. Overcoming adversity with Barb Williams. Her story will surprise you, uplift you, then energize you. Greta Jones. A lesson that anyone can take something away from Vic Elmsworth, and an intimate evening with a truly wonderful message, says Isabel Crosby. Book Barb for corporate retreats, church events, or even school assemblies. She can customize her message for any audience. 5 things here, huh? Let's look for Greta Jones. Let's look for WQTV-12. Greta Jones is, according to a flyer in your possession, the morning news anchor for a channel called WQTV-12. Unfortunately, WQTV-12 has no online web presence whatsoever. You do find listed on a giant list of television's call signs next to the city Springfield under the heading Effingham County. Which Springfield? You may need to do a deeper dive on a specific city and state to see if any locals have discussed the news in that area. Where's Effingham County? It's the name of 2 different counties in the United States. One is in Georgia, the other in Illinois. I mean, this is Springfield in Illinois. You probably need to append the state name to research to find better results. Springfield is the capital of Illinois, but after pursuing some of the results, you find that it is not located in Effingham County. Makes sense. There's a Springfield in Effingham County, Georgia. What? Okay, WQTV 12 Georgia? What do you want me to look for specifically? Specific city and state. Springfield, Georgia. When refine your search to television in and around Springfield, Georgia, you come across a website that lists different channels available there. The list seems to only feature podcasts with female news anchors. The person who runs the website is ranked, each using 3 categories, none are relevant to journalism. One of the entries is Channel 12. The news anchor listed is Greta Flores. Greta Flores is a news anchor who apparently used to go by Greta Jones before her divorce. Compared to the ordeal you've gone through to simply figure out her current name, it's way easier than you expected to find that she has a website of her accomplishments. She was apparently the MC for an all-female speaking tour in 1977. The tour was called Storytellers of Sisterhood, the Mothers and Daughters of Earth. You do a search for it, and it seems some of the stories were compiled into a book simply titled 25 Stories of Sisterhood by Ayla Hale. Published in 1986, softcover non-fiction anthology. This is an anthology of stories told on a few different Storytellers of Sisterhood tours. It contains direct transcripts of the most well-received stories told on stage. Ayla Hale is the editor, not the sole author. One of the stories by Barb Williams has been added to your evidence. Thank you for that. Barb Williams had the transcript of a story she told on stage published in a book. The first part of her story focuses on two 16-year-old girls. My sister Sherry was a brat, always sulking, often disobedient, never on time. She borrowed things without asking and even ran away from home, only to sneak back the next day like nothing had changed. My daughter Sharon, on the other hand, was a beautiful person. She had excellent marks in school, was intensely artistic and creative, and even volunteered at an animal rescue. She continues to tell stories of the two girls until she shifts the narrative. What was the difference between Sherry the brat and Sharon the beauty? Is it nature, nurture, a better education, different opportunities? The answer is nothing. There was no difference because my sister and my daughter are the same girl. Barbara reveals that her daughter was the result of an unexpected pregnancy when she was only 15. I met a boy at a county fair. Unlike us, he lived in the nice part of town. He went to the good school. To a teenage girl, it felt like a fairy tale, but there were boxes all over his house. He was moving in 3 days. Those 3 days were heaven to me. The final night he surprised me. He told me he could actually see me again soon. He planned to return to visit his grandparents. I thought I was giving him a reason to keep his promise. I never saw him again, and when I finally got desperate enough to ask around, a friend of a friend told me he hadn't even given me his real last name. Wow. Barb also talks about when she found out she was pregnant. I was convinced my life was over, but my parents, they took charge. I had to live at home and work a part-time job, but they removed the burden of motherhood. I managed to scrape out a degree in English, and as far as my daughter was concerned, I was her much older sister. Barb uses the story to come to a conclusion. When I was younger, I thought my sister was the brat, and I wasn't wrong. But she ran away from home to work at an animal shelter. She borrowed my clothes for presentations at school, and her creativity allowed her to open up Sherry's hair. It took me far too long to realize the beauty was always there too. In fact, the brat and the beauty exist in all of us. It was my inner brat that kept me blind to the truth, and I'd like to say it's the beauty in me that's finally able to see what I was missing. I implore you to call upon the beauties in yourselves whenever the brat tries to take hold. Nice. Alright. So, Barb Williams. It's not Barb, it's Barbara apparently. I guess Barb is short for something in this case. Who is a speaker. A public one at that. And then her sister slash daughter is Sharon, right? Probably Arthur Williams. And she opened up, what does it say? Sherry's hair. There's a Sherry's hair in Orlando. The owner of the business is listed as Sherry Jastrzemski. Sherry has a large van and on weekends can bring the style of Brittany, Christina, or even the Rachel to your door. Anyway, the About Sherry section is very, very long and presented as one paragraph with multiple run-on sentences and no pictures. You get the sense that if she were to do your hair, she'd be doing a lot of talking. It mentions that her husband Pete was her late husband's college roommate. Okay, just weird, but okay. She and he had never spent any significant time together until she became a widow and they built a charity together. They left the charity behind because it was growing beyond their ability to run it. She also brags about her kids Tony, Mark, and Cricket. Oldest Tony seems to get the short end of the stick. His two listed accomplishments are that he's the oldest and he's a straight A student. Mark, on the other hand, has multiple baseball accomplishments listed. Apparently his little league team is nationally recognized. Cricket York is near the end and has an entire section dedicated to her. She's an actress on a local television show called Liberty Library. And the reason Sherry relocated from Miami to Orlando, Sherry, in addition to being hireable to come do your due, is a stylist for the show. The passage also mentions that her agent recommended they change her last name to York since it was easier to pronounce than Jastrzemski? I don't know, maybe a little bit. The rest of the section describes how she got the part, but it seems unimportant to your search. Cricket is a fun name. That's true. So Pete is the current husband. And she's like a hairdresser. And then this is Cricket. But like, what's her legal name? Is it York? Or is it Yastramsky? I'm not sure. And then this is Peter Yastramsky, probably. And then the other ones are... Wasn't it Tony? Anthony? Tony, Mark, and Cricket. But I don't know... Yeah, I don't know how the last names work. But since Cricket had to change the name, I'm guessing Cricket is Pete's son. Daughter, I mean. So I'm guessing that, yeah, he's got the hard to pronounce last name, and we don't know the other guy's name. What was it, Mark? Mark. Short for Marsha, maybe? Probably not, though. And she's an actress. And that should be very fine, number 2. I need to end the stream soon. Library Library is a children's show filmed at a studio in Orlando, Florida. It has been on the air since 1991. In the show, multiple adults and children interact with different animal puppets in a small town called Library. Unlike some other popular shows involving non-human performers, this one isn't funded by the public. Instead, it's paid by donations from businesses related to education. This includes textbook manufacturers like Arithmetic, tutoring companies such as Educa2U. Educate You, maybe? I don't know. And a few well-known publishers of picture books. From what you can find, it's syndicated in a few markets across the southern United States and in New Hampshire for some reason. Like most other children's entertainment, many of those that grew up with it tend to have fond memories that works in your favor because the show has been documented by a few fan sites. There's even a Library Library web ring, though it only has 3 entries. You click through the sites in the ring and find that Cricket York joined the cast in 1997 at the age of 5 and is still listed as a current cast member. A picture of Cricket from one of her first episodes has been added to your evidence. Let's look at Cricket. Which one's her? Anyway, there's a promotional shot of Cricket York and the puppet Pooftail from 97 when she was on a show called Library Library. According to the site you found it on, the theme of this episode tackled why some people needed glasses. That makes sense. I don't think there's going to be more here. Maybe the companies, we could look up the companies. Arithmetic is a math textbook publishing company. They were in the news last year in a primetime news program that the full comparison of their 4th edition textbooks from 96 and their 5th editions from 98. Schools are complaining that the 2 editions seemed remarkably similar, yet Arithmetic was charging almost double for the new edition than they had for the previous one. The news program announced that between the 2 books there were only 16 total changes. The most notable was that the cover was changed from a picture of a water droplet creating concentric rings on a lake to a close-up of a feather. The other 15 were all instances of changing 4th to 5th. This even led to a geometry problem where the book asks students to calculate the 5th side of a rectangle. Yes, that's an issue. Nobody associated with arithmetic seems to be related to research. Yeah, that's good, probably. Educate2U is a tutoring service. They have a deal with Library Library and features some of the actors from the show and pictures on their website. According to the site, they actually provide tutoring for all of the actors and actresses on the show to accommodate their shooting schedules. Included is Cricket York, who is seen in the photo labeled Cricket and her brothers ready to learn from one of our talented tutors. You don't find much else about Educate2U, whatever, except that there seems to be a small subsection of Library Library fans who were deeply unsettled by the company's logo, which would appear after their credits on each episode. One writes, "I was terrified of the little girl in the Educate2U logo. She looked like some kind of demon doll. And I'd race to the TV every day to switch the dial before her creepy laugh came on." I want to see that. I mean, that does look creepy, if that's the logo there. perfect student, perfect student, perfect student. Very good. So I'm guessing this one's Anthony and this one's Mark. Mark Anthony. Interesting. And then this one's obviously Cricket, but we can't put that there. Right, and then now we need to look up Jastrzębski. Nothing. That's tough then. It is Pete, right? Peter, yeah. I don't think we're getting anything there. How do I find him? Did he go to Mideastern? No. Is he from Portland? Starlet? Dean Plast? Now we have to look up Cricket, I guess. Cricket. Nothing in Team Blast? Or Starlet? Or the Telegraph? Or Piketty? Or News Time? That's bad. That doesn't exist anymore. She's probably not in college yet. That's tough. I mean... Alright. Yeah, her husband Pete was her late husband's college roommate. But how do I find her late husband's name? I guess we can look up the Little League team, maybe. Mark. But we don't have the name of the team. Unless they also are called York, but like, why would they be? I don't know, maybe. Let's look for Mark. No. That's tough. Man, I don't know. Always looks like a character from the farming game. His name you're currently ranking on. Gardening, not farming. Grun, yes. How do I find his college if I can't, like, okay, the charity. Can we find the charity somehow? Build the charity together. What's the name of the charity? I don't have the Little League team, which would give me the name of Mark. Like, can we just look for Orlando Little League team? That's what I would do. Ah, man, why? I thought we could like finish up this section now. But we just can't. But we have more. We have more names here. We never looked up, right? Vic Elmsworth, from the Kiva Falls Gazette. Vic Elmsworth, according to his own personal page, is apparently one of three brothers. All three of them are contributors of the newspaper called the Kiva Falls Gazette, and he tends to focus more on the southeastern United States. All of the articles he's written are archived on his site, including the long-form version of the review for Barb Williams' motivational show from '97. According to Victor, he had seen Barb talk more than once. On this particular occasion, Barb's talk was at a very large church, and it was clear she was an expert at matching the presentation of her concepts for any particular crowd. Because she received a standing ovation, Barb started... Are you allowed to do standing ovations in churches? I guess it depends on the denomination. Like, I think... I do remember as like a... Like, I don't know, when I was in school, there was like... one of the principals retired, and there was like a mass at the end of the school year, and he like, there was like, we weren't supposed, like he was like giving a speech, and we were not supposed to applaud because you don't applaud in a church or something. Anyway, but it might be a Catholic thing, not like a generic church thing. Or it might have been just like the might have been a specific priest thing too. I don't know. Where was I? Barb started with a story about loss, specifically the loss of a bicyclist who had been hit by a car. She spoke about the death of any person as a darkness in their loved ones, a cold, empty void that begins to creep into a space where there once was light, because the light could never return exactly how it once was. She says the only option is to nurture new sources of light to help fight back the darkness. Her conclusion was that finding the hidden meaning in tragedy is the most important thing we can do. She used multiple biblical comparisons and finished by looping back around to her initial story and how she personally began to come around to this ideology. The biker who died was her son-in-law, and the Lanes Across America charity was created to fill the newfound darkness her daughter experienced. The charity, was the light that began to fill the void, and she was doing everything she could to help nurture it. Okay, I do want to look at the Kikiva Forest Gazette, maybe as a thing though. There's no Kikiva Forest anywhere in the world that you can find. The closest thing is to a Kikiva appears to be in New Zealand. It does sound like that. And so a man named Chris Elmsworth has invented the small town newspaper as a conceptual art piece. The Kikiva Forest Gazette is a series of online articles about small restaurants, shows, and other tourist attractions all across the United States. This is presented as a monthly newspaper of small town America. What makes the Kikiva Forest Gazette a bit strange is that amongst the articles detailing real locations are occasional stories that present outlandish, inflammatory concepts in extremely mundane ways. For example, on the homepage right now is an article entitled "Mermaids Strike Back Against Lobster Farms." Why is that, outlandish? That seems reasonable. That using very dry language details the idea that the mermaids in Maine, yes, who hasn't heard of them, have begun to unionize, of course, in support of better benefits. Sounds like Maine. There are no punchlines, and the articles are not marked any differently from the rest, because they're the same. They're also true. Unfortunately, each current issue of the paper is presented on the homepage. There are no archives of older issues. That's a shame. Another rule in the church you grew up in? Yeah, okay, sure. American churches are vastly different, that is true. I have learned that. Justice for fishwives, yes. I would like to know more about that, but that's okay. Lanes Across America. Hola is a charity focused on adding bike lanes to major cities. How's that working out? I don't know, actually. Bike lanes might be okay. There's no way to walk anywhere, but bike lanes might exist anyway. The pages and pages of news articles that mention Lanes Across America have a similar summary in them. LA, formerly LAM, was founded in 1987 after the death of Drew Smith. Drew was biking, I don't need to highlight. Drew was biking home from work when he was hit by a car. Each year since, Lanes Across America, what was it before? Lanes Across Miami? Maybe. Has grown, and they now have offices in over 12 major metropolitan areas, including Miami, where the charity began. The website for the charity has a picture of Drew. Photo has been added to evidence. Drew. Short for Andrew. I haven't like added the picture yet. A partial wedding photo from the website for charity card leans across America. The rest of the wedding party is cropped out. The charity was founded after the death of Drew Smith, who is featured in the photo. And then are these two just Smiths then? It would make some sense. Lamb. According to the dictionary results that pop up, that pop to the top of your search, you learn the word lamb means to hit someone. Apparently lamb is too common of a word. Searching for lanes across Miami does narrow down the pages and pages of articles you found earlier to only those with a more in-depth history about the charity. You find some additional information. LAM was formed in 87, became La in 94. It was founded by Sharon Smith after the death of her husband. Sharon and some other board members stepped down in 92 and the current leadership took over. One of the oldest articles has a full uncropped version of the same wedding photo from the La website. It seems that after Sharon left LAM, they began to crop her and the rest of her wedding party out of the photo to focus solely on Drew, who is the face of the charity. The photo has been added to your inventory. Thank you. Where is it? There. Is that Pete? Who's that though? Oh, that's what's her face? Sharon? No. Barbara. We can't add that one. I wanted to add more pictures. Lanes across America, yes. Alright, we gotta end it here though. I thought we could finish this, but we can't. It's way too late. Anyway. So this is not actually called York. It's like, I don't know what you want. And she's also still not logged in for some weird reason. Is she not a CEO? But she's running the company, whatever. And she's not military? What are you talking about? What is she then? Anyway. And this is definitely Pete. And this is... yeah, that's Barb. Okay, so somehow Lisa... maybe... wasn't it Lisa? It was though, right? We'll check that next time. And then we'll look, maybe there's like something she's done after being military. And this might just be the last name, yeah, because like it's probably not legally changed, and we can add that photo too once that logs in. But it's like once that logs in, we're done, I guess. So we have these stupid children left, and whatever is wrong with this Nia Arvis, which is not anything. Anyway, I don't know. And this seemed impossible, and now it's just like done. It's crazy. Right, so Lisa, those two kids, and whatever's wrong with Nia Arvis. After you lose a limb, they usually let you leave the military. Yes. That, you know, she's not probably active military anymore, but that's still her latest occupation. Unless like her latest occupation is just housewife. Maybe? Or like, you know, I don't think mother is an option. They didn't mention anything about that though. But yeah, she might not be active and then she's like a housewife maybe? Or like unemployed. Is unemployed an option? Or unknown occupation is an option, but that probably doesn't count. I would guess. I still have no clue how to get into Susan Ford's children. Like there's no angle there anymore. Because like I can't find anything about her or the husband. Anyway, and I also don't know what's wrong about Nia Arvis. That's actually annoying me too. Because like it says... Man, that's long ago. Massive media group owned and run by a mysterious woman named Sonia Arves. And we did have that before. Sonia Arves is a common name in Brazil, so she has shortened her name to Nia to stand out. But like maybe not legally. But we tried both versions already. Maybe CEO is just wrong. She doesn't even appear to show them meetings, she sends a proxy. And that's just that again. Whatever. I don't know what you want me to do here then. Because we had Sonia here, we had Nia here. Maybe she's director or something and not CEO? Is there something that fits better? Because we had news anchor before, media mogre, that fits even better. Alright, we'll put that there. And then I don't know if it's Sonia or Nia, but we'll see, I guess. This might look like that, this should look like that. So it's just those stupid kids. Which is infuriating because I have no clue how to get them anyway. But we'll do that next time, I guess. It's gonna be short next time, probably. We'll do those and then whatever the top secret last thingy is. But it turns out that I'm a Roottrie and then and that's gonna be it. I went too long. I have regrets.